I still remember the day I married Sarah. It felt like I had finally found peace in a world that never gave me any. She wasn't just my wife. She was my safe place. Every morning, I would wake up before her, just to watch her sleep. There was something about her smile, something that made all my struggles feel worth it. We didn't have much in the beginning. A small apartment, old furniture, and a life full of dreams. But we were happy. At least, that's what I believed. I worked day and night, building a future for us. Every extra hour, every sacrifice was for her. And when our son was born, I thought, life couldn't get any better. That moment, holding him in my arms, looking at Sarah, smiling with tears in her eyes, I felt complete. Years passed, and slowly, things started to change. Not suddenly, not in a way you could easily notice, but in small, almost invisible ways. She started replying late. Her tone became colder. Her eyes no longer looked at me the same way. At first, I ignored it. Because when you love someone deeply, you don't question them. You trust them. Even when your heart whispers, something isn't right. One night, everything changed. I came home earlier than usual. I remember checking my phone. It was around 8:30 p.m. The house was dark. Too dark. Normally, she would leave the lights on. I stepped inside slowly, and that's when I heard it. A voice. A man's voice. Coming from my bedroom. For a second, I froze. My mind refused to understand what my ears had just heard. I told myself, maybe it's the TV. Maybe I'm overthinking. But deep inside, I already knew. I walked toward the door. Each step felt heavier than the last. My heartbeat was so loud, I could hear it in my ears. And then, I opened the door. Everything stopped. Sarah, my wife, standing there, with another man. Time didn't just slow down. It shattered. She looked at me, her face drained of color. The man turned, calm, almost careless. And in that moment, something inside me died. Not loudly, not dramatically, silently. I didn't scream. I didn't fight. I didn't even ask questions. Because sometimes, the truth is so clear that words become useless. She tried to speak. It's not what you think. But we both knew. It was exactly what I thought. I turned around and walked out. No anger. No tears. Just emptiness. Days passed. Then weeks. I didn't call her. I didn't message her. I didn't want answers anymore. Because the truth had already been revealed. But something inside me refused to stay broken. I needed to understand. Not for her, but for myself. Who was that man? Why him? Why now? So I started watching, quietly, carefully. I followed her routine, her movements, her lies. And then, I found out the truth. The man wasn't a stranger. He wasn't just someone random. He was someone I trusted. My business partner. The man I built everything with. The man who sat at my table, who laughed with me, who called me brother, was the same man who betrayed me. At that moment, something changed. The pain didn't disappear, but it transformed into something colder, something sharper. I stopped being the victim, and I started thinking, planning, preparing. They thought I was weak. They thought I was broken. But they didn't know. I was watching everything. I started collecting proof, messages, calls, meetings, every detail, every lie, documented carefully. I moved my money, secured my assets, rearranged everything. Silently. They had no idea. And then, I waited. Because revenge is not about emotion. It's about patience, timing, precision. And my moment was coming. One evening, I called her, my voice calm, controlled. I told her, let's talk. She hesitated, but she agreed. I invited him to dinner, at the same table, where we once laughed. They arrived, trying to act normal, trying to pretend, like nothing happened. But I could see it. The fear, the guilt, hidden behind fake smiles. I sat across them, calm, silent, watching. And then I placed my phone on the table and pressed play. The room went silent. Their voices filled the air. Every secret, every lie, every betrayal. Exposed. Sarah's hand started shaking. His face turned pale. And for the first time, they understood. I knew everything. He tried to speak, to explain, to justify. But I stopped him. No more lies. My voice steady, cold. You didn't just betray me. You underestimated me. Everything collapsed after that. The business, gone from his hands. The life he built, destroyed. Sarah lost everything too. She cried, begged, apologized. But some things can never be fixed. I walked away, not as the man they broke, but as someone stronger. Someone who learned that betrayal doesn't destroy you. It reveals you. I lost a wife, but I found myself. And that was worth everything. After that night, silence became my closest companion. The house felt empty. Not because she was gone, but because everything inside me was gone. I stopped looking at old photos, stopped checking my phone, stopped remembering who we used to be, because memories were more painful than the truth. Days turned into months, and slowly, I rebuilt myself. Not the same man, but a different one. Stronger, colder, more aware. I focused on my work, expanded the business, made smarter moves, calculated risks. Every decision, precise. Every step, intentional. And within a year, everything changed. The same people who once ignored me now respected me. The same world that once felt small now opened doors for me. Success didn't come fast, but it came strong. And one day, unexpectedly, she came back. Sarah, standing at my office door, looking different, not confident like before, not proud, broken. Her eyes carried regret. For a moment, time felt like it reversed, like everything that happened was just a dream. But it wasn't. I looked at her, calm, silent. She tried to speak, but words failed her. Tears filled her eyes. I made a mistake. Her voice, shaking. I lost everything. I didn't respond, because deep down, I already knew. The man she chose had left her, used her, and walked away, just like she did to me. Life has a strange way of balancing things. She stepped closer. I miss you. I miss our life. I want to fix everything. I smiled, not with happiness, but with understanding, because this moment was no longer emotional for me. It was clear, simple, finished. You don't miss me, I said quietly. You miss what I gave you. She froze, realizing this wasn't the same man she left. I've changed, she said. I know I heard you, but I'm ready to do anything. Just give me one chance. I looked at her for a long moment. Then I said, some doors. Pause. 2 seconds. Once closed. Pause. 2 seconds. Should never be opened again. Silence filled the room. Heavy. Final. She broke down, crying, begging. But this time, it didn't affect me. Not because I was heartless, but because I had already healed. The pain had already done its job. I walked past her, without looking back, and that was the last time I saw her. Or so I thought. Months later, I heard something surprising. My former business partner, the same man who betrayed me, was trying to come back. Not into my life, but into the industry, starting from nothing, trying to rebuild. But reputation is something you can't fix easily. People knew what he did. Word spreads, quietly, but powerfully, and no one trusted him anymore. The empire he once dreamed of was gone. Because betrayal doesn't just break people, it follows you, wherever you go. I didn't interfere, didn't stop him, didn't help him. Because some battles don't need your involvement. Life handles them better. And me? I kept moving forward, built new connections, expanded globally, created a life that no longer depended on anyone. No attachment, no blind trust, just clarity, peace, control. And one night, sitting alone, looking at the city lights, I realized something. If that betrayal never happened, I would still be the same person. Blind, dependent, weak in ways I couldn't see. Sometimes, pain is necessary. Not to destroy you, but to wake you up. To show you what you deserve and what you should never accept again. I didn't hate her anymore. I didn't hate him either. Because hate means you still care. And I didn't. They became just a chapter, a lesson, a memory that shaped me, not defined me. And that's when I understood the real victory wasn't revenge. It wasn't success. It wasn't even walking away. It was becoming someone who would never tolerate that kind of betrayal again. Someone who knew his worth. Someone who didn't need validation. Someone who could stand alone without fear. Because at the end of the day, people will come and go. Trust will be broken. Promises will fade. But if you build yourself strong enough, nothing can break you again. Time passed, but something inside me never went completely silent. Not pain, not anger, but awareness. A different kind of clarity. The kind you only gain after losing everything. I had built a new life. Stronger, more stable, more controlled. But deep down, there was still one question that never fully left me. Why? Not why she cheated, but why I didn't see it coming. And that question changed everything. I started looking at people differently. Not emotionally, but logically. I began noticing patterns, small behaviors, tiny inconsistencies, the kind of things I once ignored. And that's when I realized betrayal never comes suddenly. It grows. Slowly. Silently. Right in front of you. But you choose not to see it. Because love makes excuses. But experience remove them. Months later, something unexpected happened. I received a message. Unknown number. Short. Simple. I need to talk to you. Just once. I didn't need to guess. It was her. Sarah. For a moment, I stared at the screen. Not with emotion, but with curiosity. Why now? After everything? Why come back again? I ignored it. At first. But she didn't stop. Another message. Then another. Until finally, one line caught my attention. It's about something you don't know. Pause. 3 seconds. That was different. Not emotional. Not begging. Something else. And against my better judgment, I agreed. We met at a quiet cafe. The same place we used to go years ago. Strange how life works. Same place. Different people. She was already there. Sitting alone. Nervous. Her hands slightly shaking. When she saw me, she stood up. But I stayed calm. Sat down. Silent. Waiting. She didn't waste time. There's something you need to know. Her voice was weak. This wasn't just a mistake. Pause. 2 seconds. It was planned. Silence. Heavy. Uncomfortable. I didn't react. Not yet. What do you mean? Planned. My voice steady. Controlled. She looked down. Ashamed. That night, he walked in. It wasn't the first time. Pause. 2 seconds. It had been going on for months. I already knew that part, but then she said something. That changed everything. He didn't just want me. Pause. 2 seconds. He wanted your business. My eyes narrowed. Still calm, but sharper now. Use me to get information. Your deals. Your finances. Your plans. Pause. 3 seconds. And I helped him. There it was. Not just betrayal of love, but betrayal of everything. Trust, work, life. And suddenly, everything made sense. The timing, the behavior, the subtle changes. It wasn't random. It was calculated. Carefully. Precisely. I leaned back. Took a deep breath. Not angry. Just understanding. And why are you telling me this now? I asked. She hesitated, then said quietly. Because he's trying it again. Pause. 3 seconds. With someone else. And this time, he's targeting something bigger. Silent. My mind started connecting dots. Fast, sharp, focused. This wasn't about the past anymore. This was present. Real. Dangerous. Why should I believe you? I asked. She looked at me. Tears in her eyes. Because I lost everything believing him. And I don't want someone else to lose everything because of me again. Pause. 3 seconds. For the first time, I saw something real in her. Not manipulation. Not excuses. But regret. Genuine deep L didn't forgive her. But I listened. And what she told me next was enough. Names. Plans. Targets. Everything. And just like that, a new game began. But this time, I wasn't the victim. I wasn't the man reacting. I was the one in control. I didn't rush, didn't confront, didn't expose. Because I had learned one thing. Real power is silent. I started watching again, but differently this time. Smarter, faster, stronger. And within weeks, I confirmed everything. He was back, doing the same thing. Different face. Same strategy. But this time, he didn't know. I was already ahead. Way ahead. I gathered everything. Proof. Connections. Evidence. Not just to stop him, but to end it completely. One move. Final. Precise. And then, the moment came. A business event. Big. Important. The kind of place where reputations are built or destroyed. He was there. Confident. Smiling. Talking to new targets. Just like before. But this time, I walked in. Not as his partner. Not as his victim, but as his end. Our eyes met. For a second, his smile faded. Just slightly. He didn't expect me there. Not like this. Not now. I didn't say anything. I didn't need to. Because within minutes, everything changed. The evidence reached the right people. The truth spread quietly, but powerfully. And just like that, the room shifted. Conversation stopped. Eyes turned. Whispers began. And slowly, his world started collapsing. Again. But this time, completely. No second chances. No escape. No rebuilding. He realized it. I could see it in his face. Panic. Fear. Defeat. And for the first time, he understood what it feels like to lose everything. Not because of luck, but because of choices. Bad ones. He tried to approach me, to speak, to explain, but I didn't stop. Didn't listen. Didn't care. Because some endings don't need words. They just need closure. And this was mine. Final. Complete. I walked out of that place with the same calm I'd learned to carry. No anger. No satisfaction. Just peace. Because revenge was never the goal. Closure was. And I had it. Fully. Completely. As for Sarah, I never saw her again. Not because I avoided her, but because there was nothing left. No questions. No emotions. No connection. Just distance. Permanent. And life moved on. Better. Stronger. Clearer. I built something bigger, not just in business, but within myself. Understanding, control, self-respect. Because in the end, the biggest lesson wasn't about betrayal. It was about value. Your value. And once you understand that, truly understand it, you stop accepting less from anyone, no matter who they are. Because the truth is, people will test you. They will push limits. They will see how much you tolerate. And the moment you allow it, you lose. But when you stand firm, when you walk away, when you choose yourself, that's when everything changes. Not outside, but inside. And that's where real power lives.